Hello, beloveds. It's Alex with another pep talk this week. I mentioned last week that we're starting to see signs of springtime here, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the flower communion. You may know the flower communion. It's when members of a congregation bring flowers to worship to create a communal altar, and the flowers are blessed and then distributed as a sign of God's love for everyone, for the freedom of grace to all, and the beauty of diversity in the universe. But you may not know that the first flower communion is credited to Reverend Dr. Maya Chapek and her husband, Reverend Norbert Chapek, who were the founders and ministers of the Prague Unitarian Church in what was then known as Czechoslovakia. The Chapeks wanted to create a ritual to celebrate the diversity of humanity and God's love. The first one was performed in 1923 in Prague. 1923 was significant because it was also the year of the Beer Hall Putsch and the year that Hitler rose to power in the Nazi Party and in German politics. So in 1923, we see both the rise of fascism and the resistance against it, as evidenced through the flower communion, a ritual to recognize the power of resistance. In 1939, Reverend Dr. Maya Chapek traveled to the United States through the assistance of the Unitarian Service Committee, which was sponsoring resistance in Europe at the time, as well as the American Unitarian Association. As she traveled around the northeastern United States, she raised money for the resistance and taught congregations about the flower communion, how to perform it. While Maya was in the United States fundraising for the church, Reverend Norbert Chapek was arrested by the Gestapo and imprisoned at Dachau for crimes against the Third Reich. While in Dachau, he was experimented on and eventually killed by the Third Reich, executed for his crimes. Reverend Norbert Chapek is one of the brave heroes of the resistance and a Unitarian martyr. And when we perform the flower communion, we are reminded of his good work for justice in the face of evil. As we celebrate the flower communion every year, we are reminded that our legacy, our spiritual inheritance, is active resistance against fascism. As we see anti-democratic forces, climate chaos, racial and economic injustice occurring in the world, the flower communion reminds us that it is our duty to work for a better world. We're just 2 years away from celebrating the 100th anniversary of the first flower communion, celebrated by the Chapeks and their congregation in Prague, Czechoslovakia. In the 100 years since the first one, the work has changed, but the work remains. We are reminded every year through the exchange of flowers that diversity is all part of the universe, and that the universe bends towards justice. It is our work to build a better world we dream about. I hope you are well, making good choices, keeping yourself and each other safe. Keep up the good work. We're proud of you. We love you. Until next week, keep doing good work.